News you can use by Mrs. Mac. How y'all doing today? Well, we're going to talk about minors today. In the state of Texas, it has always been any minor under the age of 18 cannot get a tattoo. There are only a few exceptions, and a parent must sign a consent, as well as the artist must verify the age in the documentation that is received at the time of the piercing, and the parent must be present. The actual parent, biological parent, or guardianship must be present while the person is getting this tattoo or body piercing. The reason I said tattoo is a very minimum law on that, and the only exception in the state of Texas, if a minor did receive a tattoo that was not authorized and that should have never received one, and it is gang related, sexual content, anything that's deemed inappropriate by parent or judge can be covered up with an affidavit and proper documentation or court documents. And the studio must get a signed consent and affidavit and explain the area that they're covering up, what damages that it may occur, must be in detail. So, and the parent must have a valid ID, as well as the child has a birth certificate verifying that is the parent. And if there's name differentials, then the parent must provide the reason that the name is different. We cannot assume on a birth certificate if the child name is Brown and the mother name is White that it's the same person just because they have the same first name. The parent must verify with another form of identification showing that it has been a name change or some type of valid documentation, whether it's a court document for name change, marriage, so forth, to verify the validity that this is the true parent. Those laws has always been handed down, has never been changed. I know from time to time you may find minors with a tattoo that shouldn't have because of the lack of knowledge of the artist or the studio. But these laws have been in place in Texas and many states. The only exception in Texas, if it's inappropriate. Most studios will not touch you unless it has the valid documentation, and they will do an affidavit to protect themselves as well. Now, if a minor comes in, if a person younger than 18 years of age commits an offense, which they can, if the person falsely states that the person is 18 years of age or older, or present any document that indicates that the person is 18 years of age or older, a person engaged in the operation of a tattoo studio, an offense under the subsection is a Class B misdemeanor. So the minor that lied, as well as those documentations or whoever's involved, can be charged with a Class B misdemeanor or fines. You gotta always keep that in mind. But if the studio is unaware and assume that the documentation is true and correct, then that is a different situation. But definitely, while those minors are coming making fake IDs and a person may not be aware that it's fake, and later on state verify the documents and find out that the child is not truly 18, then there's hefty fines and misdemeanors that can be in process. Keep in mind, protect your youth. I don't care what the last state did and who does it. A lot of states do have things in order, but sometimes the internet, media, they construe the understanding of what the laws say, especially with Texas. They see exception. You can get one because you got a gang related, so they assume, oh, since you already have a tattoo, that you can come back in the studio and get one at a tattoo studio. That is incorrect. You're already in violation, and your parent is in violation for allowing it to occur, even though I know some teenagers are just hard-headed and they sneak out and they go get a tattoo. It's always best to wait till they're age 18 to get those tattoos, and maybe the studio can host them an 18-year-old and older little small get-together or party if they can accommodate that for that special day. It's always better to be safe and sorry, because that one mistake can cost you your life if you're dealing with an inexperienced tattoo artist. Most professional tattoo shops will require proper identification such as a driver's license, a state ID, a passport, a green card, or immigration card, birth certificate. Those are just some of the major documents that you must have. The only time there's in conjunction with a tax ID or such as a marriage license or a passport or some kind of court document to validate your name change is because either you have a minor that has a different name, and that often occurs, but there still should be a paper trail, should be legally by state or federal, showing that there is some type of change through the court system and the legal system. There's going to be a trail whether your parents got a divorce or the mother changed their name or whatever the case may be. The name has to show that you are related. So there's no ifs or buts about it. And you do have to fill out a client records. I know some of them are very detailed. The more detailed you are at the tattoo shop, the better and secure you're protecting yourself in the business as well as the client. It's always good to know if a person have AIDS. It's always good to know, have they been out of the country? These laws have always been implemented by the Texas Department of Health and Safety. And you can always find laws and new updates on their website. So this is good news you use, because I often find teenagers that will try you. They'll see it on the door, no one under 18, and their parents are at clueless. And they'll ask, well, can I leave and can my child get a tattoo? I'll be in the car. No, you must be inside the building and present in front of your child while they're receiving piercings, period. There's hands down no tattoos. They must be 18. No excuse unless it's one of those exceptions. And those are very rare cases. A lot of those cases that end up with gang-related, curse words, inappropriate things, pictures on their body is normally very rare into the court system unless they have a criminal record and the judge say, hey, remove it all. Or the parent that you got the parent that say, no, I'm not having it. Then those are the exceptions. So if anytime you have a questions concerning what the laws are in Texas, always go through dshs.texas.gov, and they have plenty of laws and rules. If you are skeptical on finding out where it is, just click on the alphabet T and you will scroll down and you'll find tattoos and body piercing, and it will accommodate you with all the laws. So don't be fooled about hearsay. These laws have been implemented for decades. Though there's very few states, a lot of states do require consent. So don't let them fool you. It's very minimum states that allows you under 18 to get a tattoo. Some even have very clear restrictions, even with piercing. It's a no zone. So even across states, when you're going overseas, be careful. Make sure you check so you won't offend anyone in another country, because some countries is no zone for any piercing or tattoos. So cover up, go without to prevent for breaking laws even overseas. That is news you can use. So have a great day and evening.